Right, here's a story that's saving lives on two fronts. For our nation's veterans and for dogs in need, Shelter to Soldier is a California nonprofit that takes dogs from local shelters, trains them as psychiatric service dogs, and pairs them with veterans who need them. Every day, the nation loses 17 veterans and one active duty service member to suicide. That's one life every 69 minutes. As for the dogs, more than 1 million are euthanized in shelters every year. For many, it's because of behaviors that can actually be trained and corrected. Shelter to Soldier is changing both of those statistics, rescuing dogs and saving veterans. So here to tell us more about Shelter to Soldier is Nikki Moore, and also Nikki and Moose.
Moose.
This is Moose. He's joining us. Moose is actually in retirement from his regular job, so he's taking
as
a
you
chill.
can tell.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I want you to explain to people, how does Shelter to Soldier identify a dog in a local shelter to pair with a veteran?
Yeah, so it's actually a job that I get to do, which is super fun. I call it dog shopping, and it's one of my favorites. And there are so many amazing dogs in shelters right now that end up kind of getting there for the same reasons that I think they make great service dogs. So things like, you know, digging a hole in the backyard, or chewing up the lazy boy sofa, or, you know, just stuff that saying, hey, I'm bored and I want a job. Those are the dogs that I want to get. I'm like, these guys are telling us they want a bigger purpose. And so we go and find dogs there that are between 6 months and 2 years old, have to obviously want to work. Usually we want them to work for food. It's the easiest thing to train them with. And then they have to be good environmentally. So they have to be able to go everywhere from, you know, a neighborhood walk to Disneyland if their handler wants to.
So walk us through what that training process is like. How does a shelter dog go to being a service dog?
So it's about 12 to 18 months total of training, and we do everything from basic manners to, you know, their specific task work. So they do all of their advanced obedience, and then they do task work, which is what they're trained to do specifically to mitigate symptoms of their handler's disability. So it could be something like waking them up from a nightmare or a night terror. It could be helping them get off of the ground or from a seated position to a standing position. It can be going and retrieving items, basically anything that our veterans need to help them with their disabilities.
And where is this training happening?
We have a facility in Oceanside, and I have 36 dogs in training right now there.
Incredible, incredible.
Yeah.
And so have you ever had a dog where you got them out of the shelter and then they're like, no, this doesn't work, or it works?
Yeah, so we have a 30-day evaluation period. So we do an initial evaluation. We bring the dog in with us, and they have a 30-day period where we're kind of putting them through the ringer. We're saying, do you like crowds? Are you okay with loud noises? You know, how motivated are you to really learn the amount of obedience that you need to? And if after 30 days we're like, oh, maybe they wouldn't love this job that much, we do what's called career changing them, and they become an emotional support animal. So they still end up in a home with a veteran or a military member, and they still get a happy ending. They just don't have as big of a job.
That makes me so happy. I love this. It's a win-win, sounds like.
Everybody gets a happy ending.
So we do hear these heartbreaking statistics, like I just said, all of the veterans and active duty members that we lose to suicide, and the shelter dog euthanasia. So how does your program make this real measurable difference on both fronts, do you think?
So, you know, all of our dogs are rescue dogs. So we are going to shelters and pulling dogs that are just needing that extra chance. And what's great is a lot of our veterans that come into our program, they kind of see themselves in that dog. They're saying, you know, I got out of the military and was kind of lost, and I just needed a second chance. I needed a new purpose. And so the sort of mirroring of those two is actually really cool to see in our program. And these guys, you know, work really hard and learn everything they need to know to help their handler.
Because the veteran, their purpose now is saving this dog.
Exactly.
Is that what you, I mean, I feel like that's what it is?
They get to come every single week and work with their dog and learn this new skill of dog handling, and at the same time they're helping themselves.
So what does that partnership look like once they come, I didn't realize they were even part of the training.
Yeah, so it becomes, when they're approved into our program, we do what's called speed dating so that they can meet their perfect dog. So they meet a few dogs that we think would be a good fit for them and kind of see where the spark is until we find the right dog for them. Then they do about 6 to 9 months of training with us every single week, coming in, working with their dog, and learning all of the handling that they need to know.
How do you guys ensure long-term success?
So we have a lifetime of free training for them. All of our program is completely free for our veterans. So we have training support for them. We also have mandatory post-graduation training that we do for them. So we check in with them once a month for the first 6 months, and they recertify with us every single year. So we see them quite often.
Continuing education.
Yep, that's right.
Here's Moose. Remember, he's in retirement now, so he's just hanging. Isn't he, darling? I mean, you've given Moose a second chance on life.
Yep.
And so you have 30 plus in training right now, and you have placed over 100 dogs.
That's right.
With a veteran.
That's right.
How life-changing is that for them?
We hear stories every single day of how, their lives have been changed or their lives have been saved. And we hear also from their family members things like, you gave me my dad back. You gave me back my husband. And we're not necessarily doing that. Our dogs are doing all the hard work. We just help them both along the way.
Were you a client first before you became your job that you do
I was
now?
not. I actually did my apprenticeship with our co-founder, Graham. He was my mentor. And when my husband's active duty military, so when we moved out here, I was like, I need to work there. That's what I need to do.
Yes.
And so I started in 2017 as a training assistant and started just working my way up.
You've really seen some life-changing situations.
Lots, yeah, lots and lots of amazing dogs and amazing veterans.
For them, does it cost a lot of money for these men and women to get a dog?
It's zero cost to them through our
pocket.
program.
Okay.
If they were to go through a private training program, it would usually be a minimum of like $25,000 to get a service dog. And that's why we started our program, is because we feel like, our veterans tend to have limited finances when they first, get out of the military. And so we want them to be able to have access to this incredible, help without having to have that big price tag.
And you see how relaxed Moose is? That can happen for also a veteran that's dealing with PTSD,
That's
traumatic brain injury. It just relaxes them.
That's right.
Takes away the angst. So wow, $20,000 to $25,000 if they did not have Shelter to Soldier. For viewers watching today who would love to be part of this, like to donate, what should they do?
Yeah, so you can get involved in many ways. So you can donate if you'd like, either a recurring donation, a little bit every single month, or you can make a large donation. To sponsor our dogs is an $18,000 donation. It covers their entire training program for our veterans. You can volunteer with us. And right now, one thing that we're asking our community to do is vote for us. We just became finalists in the Land Rover Defender contest.
Okay.
Meaning that we can win a Land Rover Defender for the organization to use for going to assess dogs, bringing them in from the shelters, taking them on their off-site training, and we're in the running. We're top 5 finalists.
Okay, that's great.
And everyone can vote online. It's now it's completely up to community voting now through October 19th.
Okay. So we'll put that on our website. Yes. We'll put a link to that on our website and get the word out.
Yeah, so if you can just go on and vote for us, you can vote every single day. That's what we need help with right now.
If there is a soldier, a veteran that needs to, are they able just to reach out to you themselves and put their name in the hat?
Absolutely. What's awesome is that our initial application is all online. So it's on our website. We wanted it to be really easy for our veterans to get access to our support. So if you go on shelter2soldier.org, they can fill out their initial application there, and we'll give them a call and walk them through the rest of the process.
This is amazing. Nikki, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate the work that you're doing in our community.
Thank you.
And in our shelters. Moose, how do you feel about it? He's thrilled.
Yep.
He's thrilled.